My heels click against the polished marble of my apartment building's lobby, echoing in the emptiness of a Tuesday evening. Another 14-hour workday behind me, another milestone reached for Horizon Brands. The client had practically hugged me after my presentation. I check my phone again. Still nothing. The elevator doors slide open with a soft chime, and I step inside, watching my reflection in the mirrored walls. Quinn Edwards, 32 years old today, senior PR executive, wearing exhaustion like an expensive perfume. My green eyes look back at me, searching for something worth celebrating. The number on my screen doesn't change. 0 messages, 0 calls. I tell myself it doesn't matter. I'm a grown woman who handles multi-million-dollar accounts. Birthdays are for children. But when I unlock my apartment door, the small cake I'd bought myself that morning sits accusingly on my coffee table. A single candle stands unlit in its center, a pathetic little soldier awaiting orders that won't come. Happy birthday to me, I whisper to no one. I drop my leather briefcase by the sofa and kick off my heels, sinking onto the cushions. My apartment feels hollow tonight, despite the careful decorating I'd done to make it feel like home. The clock on my wall ticks steadily toward midnight, counting down the final minutes of my birthday. My phone remains stubbornly silent. I reach for my laptop, thinking I'll distract myself with work until this day is officially over. Maybe check that proposal one more time. But instead, my fingers betray me, opening Facebook. The first post freezes me in place. There's my brother Miles, champagne glass raised high, surrounded by smiling faces. Behind him hangs a banner. Congratulations on your promotion. My father's arm is draped around his shoulder, pride radiating from his face. My mother stands on his other side, beaming up at her son. The timestamp shows the photos were posted 4 hours ago. My birthday. I scroll down, each image a fresh wound. Dozens of pictures. The entire extended family there. Aunts, uncles, cousins I haven't seen in years. All gathered around Miles, celebrating. The comments swim before my eyes. So proud of our superstar, my father wrote. The Edwards family legacy continues, my mother added. My hand trembles as I set the laptop down. They didn't forget my birthday. They chose to celebrate something else instead. Again. The memory surfaces without invitation. Sitting alone at the restaurant table, 11 years old, a single birthday candle melting into my cake as I waited for my family to return from Miles's debate competition. They'd promised they'd be back in time. They weren't. Then, at 17, shipped off to Grandma's house on my birthday weekend while my parents toured Yale with Miles. It's his future, Quinn, Dad had explained, not quite meeting my eyes. My college graduation, overshadowed by Miles's engagement announcement at what was supposed to be my celebration dinner. The conversation quickly shifted from my summa cum laude honors to wedding venues and guest lists. Just last month, my father dismissed the Horizon campaign that increased client revenue by 41%. It's just advertising, Quinn, he'd said, glancing at his watch. Not like Miles's work in finance. That's the real impact. I pick up my phone and scroll through my contacts. Family names blur together. People who've never once called to ask about my accomplishments, my struggles, my life. An email notification pops up on my screen. I open it mechanically, then blink at the message. My performance bonus for the Horizon campaign, $82,000. My phone rings, startling me. My mother's name appears on the screen. For one foolish moment, hope flutters in my chest. Hello? I answer, hating the eagerness in my voice. Quinn, darling. My mother's voice bubbles through the speaker. I'm so glad I caught you. Listen, we're planning a little something for Miles and Jessica's anniversary next month, and I was hoping you could help out. Nothing major, just handling the catering and maybe the decorations. You're so good at that sort of thing. The clock strikes midnight. My birthday is officially over. Mom, I say, my voice shaking. Today was my birthday. A pause. Oh, she sounds genuinely surprised. Oh, honey, with Miles's big promotion, it just slipped our mind. Slipped their mind. Like always. I stare at the email still open on my laptop. $82,000. More money than I've ever had at once. Something shifts inside me, like tectonic plates sliding into a new formation. My voice steadies. Don't worry about it, Mom, I say, the words coming from somewhere new and unfamiliar. I understand what's important to this family. And for the first time in my life, I truly do. 4 days later at work, my fingertips hover over the keyboard, frozen in disbelief. The group chat that I am not part of, but thanks to Mom's accidental invitation, I entered it. Threads sprawled across my screen like a crime scene, each message more damning than the last. Quinn should contribute significantly to Miles's anniversary gift, my father wrote. At least 20,000. My mother's reply appears below. She just got that bonus. Time she supports the family for once. And there it is. My name, spelled Quinn, in the family thread. 1, in, instead of 2. My own mother can't even spell my name correctly. I lean back in my office chair, the leather creaking beneath me. The Chicago skyline stretches beyond my window, buildings glittering in the afternoon Sunday. Inside Horizon PR's glass-walled conference room, I'm supposed to be preparing for tomorrow's client meeting. Instead, I'm discovering just how little I matter to the people who should care most. My phone vibrates. Jennifer pokes her head through my doorway, her dark curls bouncing as she enters. "Your brother's online too," she says, then narrows her eyes at my expression. "Everything okay?" "Miles used our contacts at Regen Tech," I say, turning my laptop toward her. "Pulled their marketing director into a meeting for his investment firm, without asking me." Jennifer scans the emails, her frown deepening. "This is the third time he's done this. And your dad thinks you should give him 20 grand for an anniversary party? She lets out a low whistle. "That's messed up, Quinn." "Apparently it's time I support the family for once," I say, the words bitter on my tongue. "What exactly have they done for you lately?" Jennifer asks, perching on the edge of my desk. Her bluntness is why we've been friends since orientation day 5 years ago. The question hangs in the air as my office phone continues blinking. Miles, waiting for me to pick up. Probably wants another contact, another favor. "Your bonus was well earned," Jennifer continues. "Lawrence wouldn't have approved it otherwise." As if summoned, my boss appears in the doorway. Lawrence Chen, CEO of Horizon PR, immaculate in his charcoal suit despite the late hour. "Quinn, the Westfield campaign numbers just came in," he says, sliding a folder across my desk. 41% increase in their quarterly revenue. The board is ecstatic. His smile reaches his eyes. "This is why I fought for your bonus. You've earned every penny." After he leaves, Jennifer squeezes my shoulder. "See? At least someone appreciates you." I finally answer Miles's call, keeping my voice professional despite the anger simmering beneath my skin. He needs Regen Tech's chief marketing officer at his dinner tomorrow. Important potential client. Family helping family. "I'll see what I can do," I say, non-committal. That evening, I stop at Mrs. Bennett's apartment on the 3rd floor. She opens the door with a warm smile that crinkles the corners of her eyes, the scent of freshly baked cookies wafting from her kitchen. "Right on time," she says, ushering me inside. At 84, Mrs. Bennett moves with the determination of someone half her age. These oatmeal cookies won't eat themselves. We sat at her small kitchen table, the checkered tablecloth soft beneath my fingers. For 3 years, Tuesday evenings have been our ritual. Me bringing takeout, her providing dessert. The family I've chosen rather than the one I was born into. "You look troubled," she observes, pushing the cookie plate closer. I tell her about the emails, about Miles using my contacts, about the $20,000 they expect me to contribute. And they spelled my name wrong. I finish, hearing the childish hurt in my voice. Mrs. Bennett's hand covers mine. Some parents never see their children clearly, too busy looking at their own reflection. Her words follow me home, lingering as I change for the family dinner I've been dreading for days. My apartment feels like a sanctuary now, away from what awaits me at my parents' house. On Saturday evening, the Edwards family mansion looms over Lakeshore Drive, 3 stories of stone and privilege. Inside, my mother, Claudia, fusses with flower arrangements while my father, Richard, pours himself a scotch. Miles and his wife, Jessica, sit on the leather sofa, looking like a country club advertisement. Dinner progresses with the usual choreography. My father dominates the conversation, detailing Miles's recent promotion. My mother interjects with the perfect anecdote. I push salmon around my plate, waiting for the inevitable. "It comes with dessert. Quinn," my father says, setting down his coffee cup with authoritative precision. "We need to discuss your contribution to Miles and Jessica's anniversary celebration." The room seems to contract. All eyes turn to me. 20,000 would cover the venue and catering, he continues. As the only family member with a recent windfall, it seems appropriate. My mother nods, her pearl earrings catching the light. Family supports family, darling. The words trigger something in me. Family supports family. When had they supported me? I can't, I say quietly. My father frowns, not processing my refusal. I beg your pardon? I can't contribute $20,000. My voice steadies. That's a quarter of my bonus. I have other plans for it. Silence descends, thick and unfamiliar. No one in this room is accustomed to hearing no from Quinn Edwards. What other plans could possibly take precedence over your brother's celebration? My father's voice drops dangerously. My future, I answer simply. My mother's face crumples. After all we've done for you, she whispers, tears gathering. The performance is flawless, designed to maximize guilt. What exactly have you done for me? The question slips out before I can stop it. My father rises, towering over the table. I will not tolerate ingratitude in this house. Your brother is the real achiever in this family. The least you can do is support his success. His words strike with precision, finding the bruise he's been pressing my entire life. I stand, legs unsteady beneath me. I need to go, I say, gathering my purse. My mother reaches for my arm. Quinn, please, don't make a scene. But for once, I don't retreat into silence. I don't smooth things over. I walk out the front door, guilt trailing behind me like a shadow. But something else too. Resolution. For the first time in 32 years, I've refused to fade into the background of my brother's life. It feels terrifying. It feels right. In my car, hands still trembling on the steering wheel, I make a promise to myself. This is just the beginning. A week later, Mother calls every morning at precisely 7:15. I've started leaving my phone in the bathroom while I make coffee. Quinn, sweetie, this rebellious phase needs to end. Her voice echoes from the speaker as I apply mascara. Your father hasn't slept properly since that dinner. I watch myself in the mirror, cataloging the familiar tightness around my mouth. Mom, I'm not rebellious. I'm 32. Then why are you breaking our hearts, after everything we've sacrificed for you? The mascara wand freezes midair. What exactly have you sacrificed for me? She gasps, genuinely shocked. How can you ask that? We gave you everything. I have a meeting. I need to go. I hang up before she can respond. By afternoon, my father strides through the glass doors of Horizon Brands, his tailored suit and commanding presence turning heads. Jennifer catches my eye across the conference room, mouthing code red before disappearing. I intercept him near reception. Dad, this is my workplace. Then you should conduct yourself like a professional. His voice carries, drawing attention from nearby cubicles. Professionals honor their family obligations. Lower your voice. I guide him toward an empty meeting room, acutely aware of curious glances. What do you want? Your mother hasn't stopped crying. Is that what you wanted? To punish us because we missed one birthday? The dismissal ignites something molten inside me. Try 20 years of birthdays, graduations, and achievements. You always exaggerate. He checks his watch. The point is, Miles deserves our support. 20,000 from your bonus is more than fair. My phone buzzes with an emergency alert from our biggest client. I have to handle this crisis. We'll talk later. I do too on. This conversation isn't finished, Quinn. Actually, it is. I close the door behind me, hands trembling but voice steady as I dial the client. 3 hours later, I stand before our executive team, presenting the crisis management strategy that saved the Westridge account. My voice doesn't waver once. That was extraordinary work. Our CEO says afterward, hand on my shoulder. You just saved a $3 million account with that quick thinking. The client called me personally to sing your praises. Pride blooms warm in my chest, unfamiliar but welcome. Thank you. I appreciate that. Walking back to my office, I notice 6 missed calls from Miles and a text. Mom's crying every night because of you. Fix this. Fix. I silence my phone and turn to the stack of congratulatory emails from colleagues and clients. The contrast is stark. At work, I'm valued. At home, I'm an afterthought unless I'm giving something. 3 weeks after my birthday, I sit alone in a corner cafe, laptop open, a half-eaten slice of carrot cake beside me. At a nearby table, a group of friends surround a young woman wearing a paper crown. They laugh, offering gifts wrapped in shiny paper. Make a wish, Amanda. Someone calls as she blows out her candles. I watch their easy affection, the genuine celebration of her existence. The realization settles like a stone. I will never have this with my family. No amount of achievement will make them see me. My fingers hover over the keyboard. Without quite deciding to, I type, Lakefront Property, Michigan. The search yields dozens of results. I click on one, a 4-bedroom house with wide windows facing the water, wooden deck wrapping around 3 sides, mature pine trees offering privacy. Price, $365,000. I study the photos, something expanding in my chest with each swipe. This could be mine, my refuge, my choice. The next morning, I call a realtor and arrange a private viewing. 2 days later, I stand on that wooden deck, watching sunlight dance across the lake's surface. The owners are motivated sellers. The realtor explains. They've already moved to Arizona. I'll take it, I hear myself say. I can make a substantial down payment. Her eyebrows lift. Don't you want to think about it? Maybe bring your family to see it? No. The word feels clean, definitive. This is for me. Days later, the mortgage approval comes through quickly, thanks to my excellent credit. I sign papers in a quiet office, each signature feeling like a declaration of independence. Mrs. Bennett, my elderly neighbor who's shown more interest in my life than my mother ever has, accompanies me to the closing. You're doing the right thing, dear, she says, patting my hand as I receive the keys. Sometimes we need to build our own sanctuary. For the first time in weeks, my hands are perfectly steady. I spend weekends at the lake house, transforming it room by room. The walls fill with framed awards and photographs of moments I'm proud of: my college graduation, the team celebration, after landing the Westridge account, the magazine cover featuring my PR campaign. The master bedroom becomes my favorite space. I hang a small wooden sign on the door, the birthday suite. Inside, I place a reading chair by the window overlooking the lake, stack books I've always wanted to read on the nightstand, and splurge on the softest bedding I can find. On a bright Sunday, I type out housewarming invitations to Jennifer, my colleagues, and Mrs. Bennett. My finger hovers over my family contacts, a lifetime of conditioning urging me to include them. Instead, I press send, only to those who have celebrated my successes, who see me clearly. The action feels small but momentous, like the first stone in a foundation of boundaries I'm only beginning to build. That night, I sit on my deck, watching stars reflect on the dark water, phone deliberately left inside. For the first time in my adult life, I feel powerful. Not just successful or accomplished, but powerful in the way that comes from choosing yourself when no one else will. Tomorrow, the calls will continue. The guilt trips will intensify. But here, in this space that belongs only to me, their voices finally begin to fade. On Sunday, my thumb hovers over the post button. 3 deep breaths. Then, I press it. The photo isn't particularly special, just me on the new cedar deck, barefoot with a glass of Pinot Noir, Lake Michigan stretching blue and endless behind me. What matters is the caption, "Weekend at my new lake house, birthday gift, to myself." I set my phone screen down on the weathered wooden railing and lift my face to the golden Michigan sunset. The September air carries a hint of autumn, crisp against my skin. For 20 minutes, I simply breathe, watching light dance across gentle waves, while chickadees call from nearby pines. When I finally check my phone, the notification count stops me cold. 17 missed calls, 32 text messages. My mother has called 8 times in 15 minutes. I silence the ringer and slip the phone into the pocket of my jeans. Not today. Instead, I settle into the Adirondack chair I assembled myself yesterday, after writing invitations, and watch the sun sink lower, painting the water in shades of amber and rose. The lake house isn't enormous: 4 bedrooms, open kitchen, stone fireplace, but every inch belongs to me. Every decision, from the sage green exterior paint to the vintage brass doorknobs, reflects choices I made without seeking anyone's approval. My phone vibrates again, persistent as a wasp. When I glance at the screen, Jennifer's comment appears. "You deserve this and more. Can't wait to see it in person." Monday morning at work brings 6 voicemails from my mother, each progressively more frantic than the last. "Quinn, call me back immediately. Where did you get money for a house? Your father wants to know. This is completely irresponsible behavior. Call us. People are asking questions we can't answer. How do you think this makes us look? Your brother is driving to your work right now. You better be there. The final message arrives at 10 a.m. There's a family emergency meeting tomorrow night. We expect you there. Don't make this worse than it already is. I delete them all and make blueberry pancakes in my new kitchen. By afternoon, I've hung curtains in the master bedroom and assembled the patio furniture when my work phone rings. It's Jennifer. Your brother showed up at the office looking for you, she says without preamble. He seemed pretty shaken when I told him you'd taken the week off. Asked if I knew where you were. What did you tell him? That your whereabouts weren't my information to share. Then he got that Edwards family look, the one like I was the unreasonable one for respecting your privacy. I laugh, surprising myself with the sound. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. He cornered Devin from accounting, who mentioned something about Michigan. So heads up, they might figure it out. I gaze out at my lakefront property, where autumn leaves drift across fresh-cut grass. Let them. Saturday brings my improvised housewarming. Colleagues from the agency arrive with practical gifts and genuine smiles. My boss Greg brings an expensive bottle of Cabernet with a handwritten note, to celebrating yourself. We toast on the deck while watching boats drift by. Mrs. Bennett arrives last, her silver hair swept into an elegant bun. She carries a quilt made from fabric scraps in shades of blue and green. For your bedroom, she says, eyes crinkling with warmth. Every home needs something handmade with love. I blink back unexpected tears as she wraps her arms around me. I'm so proud of you, she whispers. We grill steaks and corn on the deck. Someone brings a portable speaker, and 80-second music mingles with laughter and conversation. I take photos of everything. Friends sprawled on new furniture, sunset reflections in windows. Mrs. Bennett teaching Jennifer how to properly fold napkins. I post these images too, each one highlighting the absence of my family, while showcasing the people who actually show up for me. Sunday evening, my father texts, "Where did you get house money?" Answer immediately. I pour another glass of wine and don't respond. On Monday, I came back to work, and the family gossip network was fully activated. My cousin Elaine calls, voice hushed with calculated concern. "Everyone's talking about your lake house," she says. "Aunt Claudia is beside herself. Uncle Richard wanted to call a family meeting, but you weren't there." "I was busy hanging shelves," I reply, surprised by my own calm. "Quinn." She pauses dramatically. "People are saying things." "What things?" "That you've been hiding money. That you're having some kind of breakdown. That this is all because you're jealous of Miles's success." I laugh then, a real laugh that bubbles up from somewhere new inside me. That sounds exactly like something my family would say. The call that finally comes Thursday night is from my mother. I answer on the fourth ring, settling into my porch swing. "Quinn, Elizabeth Edwards." She begins, voice tight with controlled fury. "This has gone far enough. The Petersons, the Carsons, even Reverend Wallace has asked about your situation." My situation? This attention-seeking behavior. Buying a house without consulting the family. Posting those photos. People are asking questions. I rock gently, watching a heron glide across the water. "What questions?" Her voice drops to a whisper. "Why you would need to buy yourself a birthday present. Why we weren't there to help you celebrate. It's creating a very uncomfortable situation for this family." "How interesting." I keep my voice light. It's almost like actions have consequences. "We need to fix this." Her voice hardens with purpose. "I'm organizing a family dinner Sunday night. Your father and I will explain that this was all a misunderstanding. That we've always supported you." The old Quinn would have agreed immediately, desperate to smooth things over. But that Quinn doesn't live here anymore. "I'm available Tuesday next week," I say instead. 7 o'clock, and I'll bring the photo albums. "What photo albums?" I smile into the phone. The ones I've been keeping since I was 11 years old, documenting everything. Documenting. For once, my mother has nothing to say. On Tuesday next week, the granite steps of my parents' mansion stretch before me like a courthouse walkway. I grip the 3 photo albums tighter against my chest, my knuckles whitening around their edges. The evening sun casts long shadows across the manicured lawn, shadows that seem to reach for me, trying to pull me back into old patterns. I ring the doorbell instead of using my key. Tonight, I'm not family. I'm a prosecutor with evidence. The heavy oak door swings open. Dad stands there, all 6'2" of him framed in the doorway, his silver hair perfectly combed despite the hour. His eyes flick to the albums in my arms, then back to my face. "You're late," he says, turning away without waiting for a response. No hug, no smile, just criticism. I follow him into the foyer where Mom waits, tissues already clutched in her hand. Her eyes are red-rimmed, makeup carefully applied to look like she's been crying without actually ruining her appearance. "Quinn," her voice breaks dramatically. "We've been so worried." I don't answer. The script is too familiar, her tears, my guilt, my eventual surrender. Not tonight. Miles appears from the living room, drink in hand. He pauses when he sees me, his expression shifting from casual confidence to something uncertain. I stand straighter, holding his gaze until he looks away first. "Dinner's getting cold," Mom says, turning toward the dining room. The table is set with the good china, candles flickering in sterling silver holders. A peace offering, or a bribe. I place the photo albums on the sideboard and take my usual seat opposite Miles, diagonal from the head of the table where Dad reigns. "Your mother made your favorite," Dad says, serving himself first as always, beef Wellington. "It hasn't been my favorite since high school. Miles prefers it. Let's just cut to the chase," I say, leaving my plate empty. "I know why you called this dinner." Mom sets down her fork with a theatrical sigh. "Quinn, sweetheart, we're just concerned about your impulsive decisions. Buying that lake house without consulting us?" Dad interjects, knife slicing through his meat with surgical precision. It reflects poorly on the family image. Reckless spending, poor financial planning. "It was my bonus money," I say quietly. "Money that could have been invested properly," he continues as if I hadn't spoken, "or contributed to something meaningful for the family." Miles clears his throat. "Quinn, no one's saying you can't have nice things, but maybe selling it would keep peace in the family. Mom's been crying every night." Mom dabs at eyes that remain suspiciously dry. "You're breaking your mother's heart," she whispers. I push back my chair and walk to the sideboard. The album feels heavy in my hands as I return, placing it at the center of the table. "I brought something I thought you should see." Dad's mouth tightens. "We don't have time for scrapbooks." "Make time." My voice doesn't waver. I open the first album. Pages of Miles in party hats. Miles blowing out candles. Miles surrounded by towers of presents. Ages 6 through 25, each birthday documented with professional photography. "Turn to page 16, I tell Miles. He hesitates, then flips the page. A photo of his 18th birthday. A car with a giant bow. Dad handing him keys. Mom crying tears of actual joy. I slide the second album forward. "This one's mine." Mom reaches for it first. Her fingers tremble slightly as she opens it. Empty pages stare back at her. A few scattered photos, me alone with store-bought cupcakes. One of Mrs. Bennett hugging me on my 30th. Nothing else. There was nothing to put in it, I explain. "On my 21st birthday, you were at Miles's engagement party. Remember?" Miles flinches. I open the third album without waiting for a response. Family vacations, Disney World, the Grand Canyon. European tours. "I'm not in these because I wasn't there," I say. "I was left with Grandma, or at summer camp, or told there wasn't enough money for everyone to go." Dad stands abruptly, chair scraping against hardwood. "What's the point of this melodrama, Quinn? You've always been the difficult one." The point is evidence. Next comes a spreadsheet, printed and highlighted. This tracks family spending. Miles versus me. College tuition. Birthday gifts. Car down payments. Family trips. The numbers tell their own story. Thousands for Miles, hundreds for me. "And this," I say, pulling out a worn diary page, "is from when I was 9. I read aloud, "Maybe next year they'll remember my birthday without Grandma calling to remind them." Finally, I produce a photograph. Christmas dinner, 3 years ago. An empty chair at the table, a place setting with my name on a card. I was in Chicago, working. You knew I couldn't come, but you set a place anyway, took this picture, and sent it to me with, "We missed you." You wanted me to feel guilty for not being there. But I was the only one who noticed something. I point to the chair. "Look closer." Mom takes the photo, squinting. "That's not my usual chair," I say quietly. "That's where guests sit. Even when you're pretending I belong, I'm still an outsider." The silence stretches between us, taut as a wire. Dad's face darkens to crimson. "What do you want from us, Quinn? An apology? Fine. We favored Miles. He was always the priority. He's carrying on the Edwards name, the Edwards legacy. Mom crumples, real tears now. We didn't mean to. It just happened. And then it became a pattern, and I was easier to ignore. I finish for her. Miles hasn't spoken. He's staring at a photo I deliberately placed at the edge of the table. Him at 8, surrounded by presents. Me at 6, watching from the background, mouth tight in a smile that doesn't reach my eyes. I stand, gathering my evidence except for the albums. Those I leave behind. I don't need your approval anymore. I say, voice clear and steady. I don't need your love or your attention or your validation. I waited 32 years for you to see me. I'm done waiting. I turn toward the door, shoulders straight, steps unhurried. Behind me, Miles calls my name. Mom sobs. Dad remains silent. I pause at the threshold, not looking back. The albums are yours to keep. Consider them a gift. The door closes behind me with a quiet click that echoes like thunder. A year later, on my birthday, the morning sun paints gold across my lake house deck as I arrange a tray of fresh fruit beside a champagne bucket. 33 candles waited on the cake. Jennifer insisted on bringing one for each year, plus one for luck. Need any help? Mark from marketing calls from the sliding door, balancing a platter of pastries. Just set those anywhere. I smooth my red sundress and check my watch. Everyone should be here within the hour. A year makes quite the difference. Last birthday, I sat alone in my apartment with a store-bought cake. Today, my deck bustles with colleagues and new friends, all here to celebrate me. My phone buzzes with congratulatory texts about my promotion to senior director. The timing feels poetic, announced yesterday, celebrated today. The lake sparkles beyond the railing, reflecting the sky that matches my mood. Dr. Levine, my therapist, would call this progress. Our weekly sessions have helped me understand the family dynamics that shaped me. Generational patterns, she calls them. Breaking them takes courage. Courage looks like spending Thanksgiving at a resort in Vermont instead of my parents' house. Like muting group texts when they turn manipulative. Like building my own traditions from scratch. Quinn! Jennifer raises her mimosa glass. To the birthday girl who taught us all how to choose ourselves. Glasses clink. Laughter ripples. I absorb the warmth of genuine connection, so different from the hollow performance of family gatherings. A car door slams out front. I know that engine sound. My brother's BMW. Miles stands awkwardly at the edge of the deck, holding a wrapped package. The party conversation dims as he approaches. Sorry to crash, he says. I wanted to give you this in person. We haven't spoken since the photo album confrontation. Since he watched his perfect family narrative crumble under the weight of evidence. Join us, I say, surprising myself with how much I mean it. Later, when the party moves indoors, Miles and I sit at the end of the dock. The package rests between us, still wrapped. Therapy's been eye-opening, he admits, watching a sailboat cut across the horizon. Dad still won't go, but Mom's trying. She talks about you differently now. And you? I ask. I never saw it until you showed us. How they erased you while spotlighting me. He pushes the package toward me. Open it. Inside is a framed photograph I've never seen before. Me at 7, perched on our old tire swing, laughing at something beyond the camera. Just me. Found it in Dad's storage boxes, Miles explains. Had it restored. Proof you existed, even when nobody was looking. My throat tightens. Not a solution, but a beginning. A knock at the lake house door pulls me back to the party. Through the glass, I see my mother standing alone on the porch, clutching a small bakery box. She insisted on coming, Miles says. I didn't tell her where until today. Mom's hands tremble as she holds out the box. Inside sits a cupcake with a single candle. Happy birthday, Quinn, she whispers, her rehearsed smile faltering into something more genuine. I brought carrot cake. You always liked that, didn't you? I did, she remembered. The party's winding down, I say, stepping aside. You can stay for cake if you'd like. Her relief is palpable. Small steps. After everyone leaves, I walk back to the dock as twilight settles over the lake. Last year, I spent my birthday staring at an empty inbox in a sterile cafe. Tonight, I'm surrounded by gifts chosen with care, echoes of laughter, and the beginnings of boundaries that protect without isolating. My phone chimes with a text from Mrs. Bennett. Did you enjoy your day, dear? I smile as I type my reply. For the first time, I truly celebrated myself. The lake house windows glow behind me, light reflecting on the gentle waves. I raise my glass to my silhouette against the sunset, toasting the woman who finally learned that validation begins within. What gift have you given yourself that changed everything?